The second law is called the law of definite proportions. This law was given by Joseph Proust, and it's again is a very important and a very simple law which states that in a compound the elements always combines with each other in a fixed ratio by mass. Irrespective of their source. I'm putting this in this these last four words in the brackets because these lines are extra which has been added to the law. In a compound, the elements always combine with each other in a fixed ratio by mass. Remember, the ratio is always taken in terms of the mass. We can take the example to understand, very simple example of water. If we take the example of water, we find that it has hydrogen and oxygen. And it's not the 2:1 ratio. Please remember, it's not the ratio 2:1. Because the 2 here means there are 2 atoms of hydrogen in one molecule, and oxygen means there is actually 1 atom of oxygen in the molecule of water. But we have to take the ratio in terms of the mass. So in terms of mass, we know that since there are 2 hydrogen atoms, so the mass is 2, and it is how many oxygen atoms are there? 1, so mass is 16. So what is the ratio? Is 1:8. So the water will always contain hydrogen and oxygen in the ratio of 1:8 always, irrespective of the source. Means whether you take water from any source or if you are bringing the water from moon, from anywhere, the ratio in the water molecule will always be 1:8. Therefore, that is why these words, the source has been added. Otherwise, this is always valid, and we see that in a compound, the elements are always combining in the fixed ratio of their mass. We can take some more examples like carbon dioxide. In this, we have carbon and oxygen. We know that this one molecule of CO2 contains 1 carbon and 2 oxygen atoms. So 1 carbon is 12 grams for 1 mole I'm talking about, and it is how much oxygen is 32 grams. Why I'm writing 32? Because 1 oxygen is 16, there are 2 oxygens, so this is 32. So what we do is, when we do the simplification, we know that it will be 4 3s are and 4 8s are. So always the ratio is 3:8. So this is how we can find out there will be always a certain fixed ratio by mass in the atoms of the different elements which are present in any molecule or in any compound. We have exception to this law also. Yes, the exception is the examples of the molecules having isotopes. I can give you an idea. Like if we have water with a normal O16 atom and we have a water with isotopic oxygen whose mass is 18. So in this case, what will happen is, let me show you like this. In this case, the ratio of oxygen will be 2:16, which is 1:8. Whereas in this case, it will be between hydrogen and oxygen, it will be 2:18, that is 1:9. So this is how the ratios get changed whenever we have the isotopes of the atoms present in the same type of molecules. Else it is valid for all other examples.